Okay, I gotta get this off my chest. I'm a Capture One user. I tend to make my software choices in hissy fits, and several years ago I had a major project for a client and Lightroom made me turn grey overnight. You can see over there. Basically what happened is it just took an age to import images. It took an age to get images out to the client. Everything just kept on crashing on me, and don't even get me started on the healing brush. More than 5 spots and I was in for a world of headache. So, like my changeover to various other kinds of software and equipment, it was done in a hissy fit, and I downloaded Capture One. Didn't even bother trying to trial it. I just went straight in and I thought, well, hell, this is going to have to work better. And funnily enough, it did. As with any piece of software, it did take a little bit of a transition period to learn how to use it properly, and I dedicated myself basically to a week of heavy, intense, just tutorials and learning and working through it, and suddenly I found my world was a little bit happier, a better place to be taking photographs in other words. So, in the next series of videos, which will be coming out straight after this one, I'm going to be looking at the basic workflow for working one's images in Capture One. I'm also going to give a slight blow-by-blow account on how you can use the different sliders and what are the different techniques available to you as a Capture One user, or as somebody thinking about migrating across from one of the alternative offerings out there. To start with though, I'd like to just discuss why Capture One is a particularly good piece of software for myself. It doesn't necessarily work for everybody. For the kind of workflow that I use, Capture One is a particularly good piece of software. Number one, the number one reason why I am particularly fond of Capture One is sessions. Now, if you use Lightroom, you're familiar with a catalog. Catalogs are what we call PIWare, which means parametric image editors. And what you do is you import the files into the program before you're actually able to work on them. The advantage of this is that the program is supposed to work faster because it's allowing you to work on proxies, not the actual file itself. That's the way the theory goes. But the problem is catalogs become enormous. My problem with Lightroom initially was the fact that my catalog was so big that it would crash the computer. Sessions are a way around this. Basically, a session is like a little mini catalog where all of your edits, all of your raws, all of your output files are all placed into a neat folder of images. Now, one of the advantages of sessions is I travel a lot. And now when I travel, if I'm working on a Capture One session, all I have to do is do everything in the session as normal, and when I get back to the studio, I take that folder and I transfer it into my database library of files, and everything's still there. With Lightroom, you had to export and then re-import, and it was a hack, basically. With Capture One, it's simple. Everything goes into that little encompassed file in your session, and when you move that file across to another computer or another hard drive, everything stays with it. It's easy to duplicate, it's easy to share with clients, it's easy to share with your multiple machines, because most of us have a laptop and we have a desktop in our studio or our home office. That isn't to say that Capture One doesn't offer you a catalog. If you would like, you can have a big-ass catalog, which has everything inside it. Obviously, the downside to this is it means that it's also going to be enormous, exactly like Lightroom's issue with catalog and file optimization and the sizes and everything. So sessions are a great way if you're trying to travel light, or you're trying to travel in terms of moving files across from different computers, and you want something that is quick and fast. So sessions work well. Another major advantage of sessions, of course, is that unlike Lightroom, where you're only allowed one catalog open at a time, Capture One allows you to have multiple sessions open. So let's say I'm working on a project for Subaru over here. Cool, I've got that working there. I have another private shoot from Namibia on another catalog, or sorry, not catalog, on another session. I can have both of them open. I can put them on separate windows. I can jump between them. If I save a file on this one, the same structure and changes save across to the other one. So it works far more simply in terms of how the files mesh and talk to each other, which is pretty cool. Number two, layers. Now, if you come from a Photoshop background, you probably know your way fairly familiarly around layers. Lightroom has its own sort of version of layers, which is essentially masks, where you apply a mask and it sort of, but doesn't act like a layer. They are very impressive. The new masking ability in ACR is mind-blowingly good. It's amazing. It really is fantastic, but it's still not layers. So if you like working on layers, Capture One offers this at a raw level, which is, to me, particularly important. Not only do I have really advanced masking abilities, from luminosity masking through to color range masking, through to a magic brush, through to gradient tools and radial tools. I have all of those available to me, but they're on the raw file. And with every layer, I have the full suite of edits, from exposure through to sharpness, through to color, through to clarity. All of those changes are available on a layered approach, whereas, again, ACR kind of stops you from working on all of those adjustments. It has improved. I'm not saying it hasn't. I still use Adobe and Lightroom on a regular basis, particularly as I teach it, both at college as a college lecturer and on workshops that I run for Nature's Light. So I am familiar and very impressed with the Lightroom masking options. But if you want layers, Capture One gives you the best approach to layered editing. 3. Speed. As I said right at the beginning, one of the reasons that I was tearing my hair out with Lightroom was the length of time it was taking to export and import files. It takes an age. Anybody who has pushed 128 gigabytes of images from a hard drive onto Lightroom and then also tried to add presets at the same time is going to know it takes an eternity to get into your computer. Even with the new M1 or Apple Silicon, it's still kind of slow. So Capture One just is leaps and bounds faster, at least in my experience working on an older machine. I use a Mac Pro trash can back at home or in the studio, and I have an M1 MacBook Air for when I'm traveling. Nice and light, didn't buy it for its power, but it works really, really quickly with Capture One. So I'm still happy with Capture One based on just that alone, speed. 4. Color science. If you work with color a lot, Capture One is just better, basically. Not only do you have more seamless controls for being able to control your color, it just seems to work better, right down to the fact that I can play with skin tones and I can uniform them slightly. I can get rid of strange color pigmentation or skin tones. It works brilliantly. Down to the commercial work, when I'm trying to create a more uniform color palette over things like my glorified Xerox work, which is photographing products. I can smooth out chrome, I can do all sorts of stuff just based on the color, which I couldn't have done in Lightroom. I would have had to resort to moving into Photoshop to do that. So Capture One works particularly well from that point of view. Number 5, customization. I don't like the fact that when I'm using multiple platforms, every platform has its own set of keyboard shortcuts. It's a hack, it's a pain, because now it's like learning a different language every single time you want to pick up a new piece of software. Lightroom, Photoshop, and ACR blows my mind how we have different shortcuts for the same basic tool in all three, and they're all Adobe. What's up with that? So at least with Capture One, which admittedly has different key shortcuts, I can now choose. It's very simple. I just go into the menu and I can then change any of those shortcuts into something that I like. So for instance, I don't agree with their use of G for grid view. I prefer using a separate key for that, and I use G for gradient filter, which to me makes sense. I've aligned things like my healing brush and my spot heal so that it works closer to what I would have used with Lightroom. I've set it to Q because that's what I had in Lightroom. So you can choose. You can make it your personal keyword or key shortcuts so that things work a bit more seamlessly and nice and quickly. As a bonus though, there's also number 6. I shoot a lot of work in Studio Tethered, and so far I have yet to come across a piece of software that works as effectively, as seamlessly as Capture One does when I am shooting tethered. Right down to shooting, to using live view, through to changing my settings on the camera, everything just works better in terms of tethered. I am yet to meet a photographer who shoots Capture One and Lightroom and says that Lightroom is a better tethered editor. Capture One wins, hands down, amongst all of them. Okay, so those are the basic reasons why I like Capture One. It's why I've stuck with Capture One for a while. I still use Lightroom, I still use Photoshop. The Problem, of course, is that Capture One is not cheap. Lightroom, Photoshop, the Adobe suite, so to speak, especially the photographer's package, it's not a bargain because, I mean, it's a grudge tax, the fact that you have to pay $9.99 every single month. But it is cheap for what it is, especially when you compare the fact that Capture One is something like $25 a month if you want to buy the subscription version. You do have the advantage of being able to buy it outright, so of course you can pay for the perpetual license, and that means that if I choose not to upgrade next year, then I won't. I just pay once, and then there you go, you have it. So at least you don't have the grudge tax, but it is a more expensive offering. It's also a new set of software. So if you are struggling to learn 1 or 2 or 3 pieces of software, it's another one to learn. So I can't recommend it from that point of view. However, if you've reached a point where you feel like you are struggling with Adobe and there are certain aspects to the Adobe offering that you don't like, particularly things like the catalog of Lightroom, its enormous size, the inability to figure out what the hell has happened to your photographs when they disappear. Capture One works with the raw files directly. So it means that it's a simpler workflow for somebody who doesn't understand Piware editing. So based on those, I think Capture One's great. And the next series of videos, which I'm going to come out straight after this, are basically going to be a blow-by-blow account on how do you edit your photographs, what are the different tools inside Capture One, how do you finesse and finish your photograph from start to finish. And we'll be following with those shortly. So if you'd like to find out more, hit the subscribe button at the bottom to make sure that you stay up to date. Pop a like down there if you agree or if you like the video. And hopefully I will see you on the flip side when we get back behind the computer. All right, cheers for now.